What is up, fishing addicts? On today's video, we'll be discussing the best hookup ratio on style of frogs that I've been researching for almost about 2 years. As most of you know, the hookup ratio with the frog, it's very, very difficult. No matter what you do, um, well, at least on my perspective, with my experience, I had hard time catching fish on a frog. I'll get the blow ups. I tried setting the hook instantly. I tried waiting for it and whatnot, and did not work for me until last year. Almost beginning of fall, I discovered a frog that I was doing pretty good with, and I've noticed a pattern that I'm getting a lot more hookups with this style of frog. So let's get to it. And I'm not gonna be that brand specific. The frog that I've been doing real well is one of these. It's almost a walking style frog, and this is from Jackall. I believe the name is I'm not gonna butcher that. Kaera, whatever. It is a pretty good frog. I was a little bit skeptical how stiff the body is, but with this frog, I've been doing extremely well. I mean, really, really well. I had a white one, and I had four of these. Unfortunately, I am down to two black ones that are left, and it is very, very good frog. It holds up pretty good. I've been catching pike with them. This one is fairly new, has a couple of fish on it, but even though on heavy mats, I still get a better hookup ratio than popping frogs. Even on if there is no mats or very little cover, I have hard time getting fish on these popping frogs, and it's not only because of the brand. This one is made by Spro. I have hard time hooking up to fish and keeping them, even though it's a lot. The body is a lot softer. Let me see camera angle. It's a lot softer than the Jackall. I still had hard time hooking onto fish, and I also have tried the Jackall. I believe this one is the Gavacho, whatever. If I'm butchering the names, guys, I do apologize. But this one has, again, stiffer body, a lot stiffer body. But the only thing about what I notice about the Jackalls is the hooks are pointed a little bit up, so when the fish bites it, you guys can't see. Maybe this way. Okay, there we go. So when the fish bites it, the hook always goes up, but still I had a hard time hanging on to fish with these and hooking them. Extremely hard time. And I switched on a tournament day. I missed the fish 6 times. I know it was the same fish because on the seventh cast I used this style and I landed it, and I have no idea why, but walking frogs such as Booya, I believe this is the Pad Crasher, it is very soft. But the thing with the Booya is, even though I still get good hookup ratios, I have caught plenty of fish with these. The downside of these is, I don't know if you guys can see the hooks. They are kind of pointed down. The hooks are pointed down. So I know a lot of people, they like to open these up. But at that point, you also get, it's not that weedless. If you cast it to heavy cover, you tend to get snagged a little bit. And but other than that, these are very soft, and they're a lot easier to uh, push down. So it does have pretty good hookup ratio. Not as good as the Jackall. I don't know why, but even though the body is softer, I had to have a couple of these actually. I do love Booyas. Look at that. How easy it is to um, crush it down. So I do get a lot better hookup ratios with this type of frogs. Um, and I've tried different brands. One of the worst ones that I tried, maybe it's my fishing skills, but this is from River to Sea. I'm not sure if it's one of the ish designs. Well, maybe it's not the ish one. I was told these are pretty good. It is easy to cast. This is a big profile bait, but I can cast the little Jackall. Let's see, side comparison. I can cast the Jackall just as far as this one. And this one does not have that good of a hookup ratio. If you guys can see, when I crush it, the hooks are barely out. And this rattle chamber, I think it's pretty useless on a frog. I'm probably going to remove it and give it a try again. But I did not have a good hookup ratio with this type of frog. And also, I have caught some fish on these. This has a very soft body, but I tend to miss some fish on it. Back hook, as you guys can see, it's pointed down to be weedless, but when I fish it on pads, I do not do that well with the open water. Yes, it's kind of okay. I have hard time landing fish on it, maybe because of the setup, but it's pretty good style. And next, on my third, I would strongly recommend. Actually, I'll use the big one. These are from Live Target, and these come with trocar hooks, and they are extremely sharp. This one has the sharpest hooks out of all of them, even sharper hooks than Jackall. Casting wise, it's pretty decent, but hookup ratio, it's okay. Can't complain. It does collapse easy, and the hooks are, I don't know if you guys can see, but they're straight. They're not pointed down or up, but they're pretty straight. Pretty good bait. Like I said, Jackall will be number one when it comes to hookups. Then it will be the Booya, and then the Live Target. I'm not sure what this one was called. I forgot. Leave a comment down below what the name of this one was. I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But overall, like I said, I had a pretty good luck with them, and I tried these from Lunker Hunt. These are extremely soft, but I hook onto fish and I tend to lose them. I have no idea why. It does have pretty decent hooks, but overall, I would suggest, if you guys have hard time hooking up to fish, try Booya, or get on Tackle Warehouse and order one of a couple of these Jackalls. They do not collapse that much, but for some strange reason, it has amazing hookup ratio, guys. And let me show you the gear that I like to use for my Topwater. Depending if I'm using heavy cover or just some scattered pads. I'll go with this one is 7.6 medium heavy. I have no idea what the thing was, but I have my logo on it. Right now I'm using a Savage gear on it, but I use it for frogs as well. And I like to use pretty beefed up reels for when it comes to my topwater and my frogs, especially frogs. This is an Abu Garcia Beast, a Revo Beast, has the extended handles and 7-to-1 gear ratio, I believe. Yes, it's one of my faster reels, 7-to-1. And most recently, I purchased a rod that was broken, and this is supposed to be 7.3, but the tip broke off, so now it's 6'4" or 6'2". It's supposed to be medium heavy. Well, 7.1. Right now it's at 6'6", I believe, or 6'4", because the tip broke. And the lady sold it to me for $40. I kind of regret the purchase until I put it on a frog. So right now, I can cast this thing a mile. I'm using a Daiwa. This is a CTR. This was a special edition that I purchased a couple of years back. Has a T-wing system. And I like to use 40-pound braid. I do not go any heavier or lighter. I think 40-pound is just right for me. I can cast them a mile, and I believe this is my Gavacho, my Jackall that's tied on. Yes, it's the Jackall. And how I like to work it. So I'll link the video of what I was using the frog to get 8th place. Just using the frog on one of my tournaments. So what I like to do is I'll make first I work the area in front of me. When I approach the area, I don't make the longest cast as I can first. I work my way up gradually, because what happens is when you cast all the way, let's say 60-70 yards, and then you start working it back, and then you get a blow up, and then you hook onto it, and now you got to drag that fish from far away, and you're destroying the area in front of you where you had a pretty good chance of catching it. This was I was doing on my tournament day. I'll cast in front and then work my area. I work my way back into deep in the cover. So what I've noticed from practice is when I cast in front of the on the middle of the hydrilla, or I would say 2 feet from the hydrilla where it's open water, and probably it's 7 to 6 feet deep water, and I was working the bait, and I'll see bass will come up from the hydrilla and look at the bait, and that's why I was getting my strikes. Within my practice day, within an hour and 20 minutes, I had 14 fish on the frog, and I got a couple misses because I was using this bad boy. But anyway, so how I work it, I'll cast and I do pop, pop, pop and stop. Pop, 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 stop. I do 3 to 4 pops and I'll stop. And if I'm fishing, let's say it's hydrilla and there's an opening, most people call it a blow-up hole, I'll cast past it and I'll pop a couple of times and I'll stop right before it, couple of inches before it, and I'll pop and I'll put it right in the hole. And I'll just sit there, and these Jackall frogs, they'll stay just like this up in the water. Like this is the water, and it will just stay just like this. So what I do is I'll just hold the rod tip up, reel all the slack in, and I just move a little bit, move the rod tip. So what it does is it just pushes water. I don't reel the slack, and once I pop it, I let it go because it returns on the same spot. I'll wait a couple of seconds, see if I get a bite, and then I'll pop it a couple of times and put it back on the edge of the hole, and I'll start slowly walking it. Most of the time, a fish will see it and it'll wait for it to get into that opening. Once it gets to that opening, you'll wait for more. So once you start popping it, that's when they usually grab it. Hopefully it's in the pouch, not when you're moving it. That way they get to swallow it pretty good. When I'm working the lily pads, I don't tend to fish that heavy when the lily pads are very heavy. I'll take cover. I'll still use a frog, but I won't make those very long casts because what I'm doing is, well, I was doing this before I discovered the Jackall frog. So I'll use a Booya Pad Crasher. I'll cast it and I'll work it. Just keep on popping it, and once they strike it, I'll remember what it was, and I'll bring up my punching rig and I'll just cast it 1 ounce weight or 5/8, or depending on the cover. I'll punch it, and that's how I was catching fish. And pretty much I do the same right now, but I walk it very slow. Even if it's a thick cover with lily pads, there is some holes in it. So I'll work my bait through the pads, and once I get to an area that I see it's open, I'll just hold it there, and again I'll just move it a little bit I'll reel up all the slack, and I'll just move the bait a little bit without moving any line. So there won't be any slack on the line because you're just moving it barely. And it's very important to have a broomstick because you don't want any give on that rod. Once you set the hook, you gotta set the hook almost like Mike Canelli. So if you are fishing from shore, it's a lot easier. If you're fishing from a kayak, make sure you have a pretty good stable kayak. I have a Jackson Cruiser, and it's pretty good. It's not the best, but it gets the job done, and I've gained some couple of pounds, so it's a little bit shaky when I go up. Because of I do tend to carry a lot of gear, so I put a lot. The more weight you put on the kayak, the less stable it gets. So make sure you have a good balance on your kayak when you set these hooks, because you really have to set the hooks. Like I said, I'll link the video down in the description if you guys want to check it out, or I'll put it up here somewhere. And let me know what kind of frogs do you guys like to use, and what are your techniques. Also, in case you miss a fish on a frog, do you guys punch? I know some people like to throw weightless Senkos. I know some people like to throw flukes, and I recently started throwing flukes. That does help too, but for the majority, I'm still searching for different types of frogs. I know I don't have all of them. I used to have Strike King. I have not tried their popping perch, but that's the one I want to try. Let me know how you guys feel about other lures, or have you tried the Jackall? Have you tried Booya? What are your comparisons? What are your go-to frogs or Topwater? So I'm gonna cut the video over here, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to crush that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That's it, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next